Good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello,
Good
good
evening.
evening.
Hello, hello. Uh, guys, yesterday we were working in a backend, right? It was an agenda backend. This was the code that I was creating in class. I think I shared this repository with you. If you don't have this repository on your hands, um, it's available. Let me show it in the Moodle. Um, in this assignment number 2. Okay, and there is this option that says demo repository. Here, if you click it, you will have access to the repository of the agenda example. Remember, yesterday we create this backend. Now, today I will deploy this in my EC2 instance, and I will try to start creating or building a React project today, but I won't finish it. The idea is that I can divide this into parts because it's going to be too much content, and you will continue working in the assignments of this week. So for this week, we have, remember, the first assignment was that you need to deploy your EC2 instance. Um, and then you can install Git and Node.js. If you have some problems doing this assignment, let me know so I can guide you. There is this video that I put here. It's the recording of one class. If you don't remember these steps, you can watch the video. There are some theoretic steps too, or some content that is theoretic, but um, the practical part where I deployed the EC2 instance is part of the video. And then if you don't remember how to install Node.js and Git, there is this guide here that you can just read and follow by copy pasting the commands necessary in the prompt. I mean, in the terminal, and that's going to accomplish the last part of the assignment that you need to install Git and Node.js. Okay, so for this week, we will continue working with that EC2 instance. So in that EC2 instance that you created in the assignment number 1, you will be deploying the backend that you started yesterday, the employees table and the task table. Remember, these tables needs to be inside of the RDS that you created on the week number 2, I think. Yeah. Remember, we created this in our AWS account, and you need to create a new schema. Remember to create a schema. If you need some help using the database, creating the schema, creating the tables, let me know. I will be here to help you. For everyone. This is for everyone, okay? Don't be afraid of asking. If you don't remember something, I am your mentor. So I won't be mad because you forgot something, okay? Don't worry about it. And then there is a video that I prepared for you guys that is called scalability. This is a concept very important that as developer we need to understand how, for example, Netflix scale on the Wednesdays. I mean, on the weekends, or maybe how Walmart's going to scale, or Amazon is going to scale when there is a holiday, for example, um, Black Friday, for example, those kind of holidays where the people is buying everything online, and so there is something that is called scalability. Okay, so this is a good concept that you need to understand, that we can deploy backends, several backends, and there is the last video for this week that I will be publishing maybe on Friday, because I need you to that you can continue working with these 2 assignments that are very important assignments. So I think that I will publish this maybe on the next week because it's too much content. But if you have time necessary, I will upload that video this week. So in that video, we're going to talk about something that is called the load balancers, and it's complemented with this topic. Okay, so for this week we have already 3 assignments. Remember, this was the assignment of deploying the EC2 instance and installing Node.js. Then the system for the task tracker, and for last, there is some AWS content. Okay, so guys, let's continue with the class today. And today we're going to deploy the backend that I created yesterday in the EC2 instance. And there is a package that we're going to learn that is called PM2. This package, it's important if you want to deploy a backend for production. I will show you why this is important. And the objectives for today is that first, we're going to uh, clone the repository in the EC2 instance, and then we're going to build a small front end right now. Maybe I will be just getting the information of the people that I have in the persons table, and maybe yeah, and this concept about course is going to be touched today. So we're going to understand what is a course and why we need to enable this in our backends. Yeah, so these are the three objectives. Remember the front app that we are going to be building in React. We're going to divide this in my maybe 2 or 3 classes, okay? Because it's too much content. So let's start, guys. So deploying an EC2 instance. You remember how to do this. If you don't remember, there is you can watch the videos. But the general steps is that once you deploy the instance, you need to connect to the instance using SSH. So let me stop this presentation and I will connect to my AWS account. Give me a second. I think it's here. Yeah, it is here. Let me show it again. Okay, great. So let me access to my account. It's this one. Okay, now I need to enter my MFA code. Okay, great. Okay, so let's go to the EC2 service. That is this one. Let me see. We have a forecast of $81 for our services. Okay, so okay, so we have the dashboard here, and let me see if you have an instance. Let me check here. Oh, I need to change the region to North Virginia. So there was this server that I have here. Remember, the idea is that you can have your servers in this region, guys. So, okay, it's very important that you can accomplish the first assignment. Okay, so I will connect to my EC2 instance by clicking here, and the way that I will connect is will be with the SSH terminal online in the browser. So if you remember, guys, right now I have the root folder, and inside of this folder, I have another one that is called the projects. If I enter to the projects, give me a second, you will see that I have inside of this project folder the hospital backend, right? But I don't want to deploy the backend for the hospital right now. I need to clone the repository for the agenda. So let me go to my GitHub account. Oh, it is another one. So let me clone the repository. Remember to clone a repository in your EC2 will be like git clone. And this is going to clone the repo. Now, if you list the content of the projects folder, I have the agenda backend and the hospital backend. Now I will enter to the agenda backend. Okay, so let me list the content inside of here. So remember that if you want to create a connection to the database, you need to create the ENB file, because in that file you have the secrets to connect to the database. So I will create the EMB file inside of the agenda, but when I copy paste the content, I will start presenting. Okay, so let me remember that the command here will be vim and then the name of the file .emb. Right now, I have a text editor in the terminal, so I can put some text here. And if you want to enter in an edit mode, you need to press the letter I. So as you see, this has changed to insert. Okay, now I will start presenting because I need to copy paste my .emb file. Give me a second. Okay, let me share again. So the .emb file has been created. Now I will install the dependencies. Remember that in the GitHub, you don't pass the node modules folder. So you need to install the node modules folder. So the way to install it is npm install. This is going to download all the repository, all the libraries that we need so we can deploy the backend. So let me show that now I need to node index, and this is going to deploy the backend. As you see, it's serving in the port 3000 right now. So I need to make sure that my security groups can deploy information in that port. As you see, the only one that is enabled right now is the port 4000. So let's go to edit the security group right now. And this is going to be here, edit the inbound rules. So I'm going to add a new rule. This will be the port 3000 and IPv4 anywhere. And I'm going to save the rule. Okay, so if let's go back to the EC2 instance and let's recall the IP. Okay, so this is the public IP of the project. So I will try to fetch some data from my Thunder client. So let's see, if I want to get the persons, remember I was deploying this in the local host. So I will change this by the IP that I have here. And I'm getting the information from the server. You see it? Guys, if you want, you can send a message via chat. Okay, so this is the list of the persons or the people that I have inside of my table. So let's see. This is returning all the all the people that I have in the table. Now, I need you to focus on something. Let me show you something. If I close this terminal, and if I try to get my data again, you will see that I have a connection, right? You see this? Now the project's not online. You see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this happens because we need, the process that we have there, the node index process, is a process that is depending from the connection. So if you want to, this is a very awful word, but in computer science we call this a demonize. So it's like creating a zombie process that is going to live forever. If you want to demonize a process, you need here in Node.js a software that is called PM2. Okay, so I know that's an awful word, but that's the way we call it. So we need to install this project that is called PM2. So what is PM2? PM2, guys, is a process manager for production environments. So this is going to allow you that the app's going to run after you close the SSH session. If you restart the app, um, I mean, the app is going to restart by itself if it is crashed. You can view the logs, the status. You can read metrics, and for example, you can set up that if you uh, reboot the server, the the app is going to be reloaded by itself. Okay, so let me show you how to install this software in our server. So let's keep here let's stay here in the root folder. What you need to do here is that I have a command here for you guys. The way to install PM2 is that you need to put in the terminal npm install -g, because this is going to be a global package from now on. And the name of the package is PM2. So npm install -g PM2. This is going to download this new software for production, okay? What's going on here? Oh, okay. Because this is a global installation, you need to add the sudo prefix. Sudo npm install PM2. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the PM2 has been installed in my computer right now. I mean, in my server. So the next step will be this one. You might need to create the index file that I have in the folder of agenda as a project or as a process. So let me explain you. Let me clear the terminal. So let's navigate to the project folder first. Inside of the project, we have the agenda. Now this is the content of the agenda. Okay, so here to demonize this index file, we need to do something like this. PM2 is start, and you need to put the name of the file. In this case, is index.js, and then you're going to provide a name for the process. Okay, so this is going to create a process in the background. So the name of the process will be agenda. So if we, let's see, PM2K. It says that PM2 is, okay, let me see. I mean, this is weird. npm install PM2. Give me a second, guys. -g, right? But we need to add the prefix sudo again. Let me see. Okay. Okay, it wasn't installed. Sorry, guys. Now, as you see, I put in the terminal PM2 start index -m. I mean minus name, and the name of the process right now is agenda. So this is a report of all the process that PM2 is running in the background. So if we clear the terminal, and there is some commands that we can use here. Let me show them. There is the command PM2 stop agenda, so we can stop the project. PM2 restart agenda, this is going to restart the project. PM2 delete agenda is going to remove the process from this software. and PM2 logs is going to list all the logs that we have inside of the project, okay? So let me show you that there is another command that is called PM2 list. And here we have a report of all the process, I mean the Node.js process that are running in the background. Now, if I try to hit again, you will see that I am returning some data here, right? You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if I close the session, let's try to hit again the backend, and the backend is online. You see it? So we are accomplishing here to deploy the backend in production. Remember, if you want to run a backend in production, this software is necessary in our server. So the way to install it is this one, right? But I think it's missing the, let me put here the correct command because this is an image. The correct command will be sudo, because this requires administrative access, npm install -g pm2. Will be this way too. Okay, so this will be the command. Now, let's do something here. Uh, in my local host, I mean in my computer right now, I will create a Vite project. Do you know what is Vite, right? It is a software necessary so we can deploy React. I think that Luis told me that you were working with Vite. Vite is the framework to deploy
Yeah.
yeah, React, and this is like the most modern framework. Okay, so let me enter to the terminal and let me navigate through the documents. Let me list the documents and let me go to the codex pathway 4, right? Okay, right now this pathway 4, it's empty. I will divide the backends in this folder and the frontends in this folder, okay? So I will create here the repository, the Vite repository. The way to do it is that the command necessary will be npm create Vite add latest. And then you need to provide the name of the folder. In this case will be the agenda frontend. Okay, so I need to install it. Okay, now I need to select here the framework. In this case, the framework is going to be React. The language is going to be JavaScript. I prefer to use this one. Now, if you list the content of the pathway 4, I have the folder for the agenda frontend. So as you see, we need to enter to the agenda folder, install the dependencies, and this command will deploy the frontend. So let me enter inside the agenda folder. I will install the dependencies, and then I can run the project. Okay, we're going to do a waiting time because this is downloading like 200 megabytes, okay? Okay, now let me open the project in my VS Code. Let me enable the terminal and let me run npm run dev. Okay, if I open this URL in my browser, I have a Vite project. I have a Vite React project. Okay, this is a simple counter. You see it. Okay, I think you know about it. Okay, so let me explain you something. First, we're going to remove the content. I mean, we're going to delete everything that we have here. Okay, because we need a new CSS, a new project for the app folder. I mean, for the app component. So let me remove all this code. Uh, the app.css file is going to be empty too. Let me remove this dependency too. And let me see. Okay, so this is this is the way that we have our project. Okay, so I will explain you something. We are going to use right now a library that is called Bootswatch. This library is going to help you to create a project that is going to be, I mean, you can, I mean, how do you say this word? It's like, it's going to resize. If I mean, if someone is accessing to the project, it's going to resize the screen. It depends if you are accessing in a mobile device or in a huge screen. The 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 HTML is going to look pretty. So we're going to use Bootstrap. It's very similar to Bootstrap. I mean, it's using Bootstrap in the backend. So, but the difference here is that we have some uh, themes here that you can select. My personal taste is that I prefer this one darkly. Okay, I don't know if you like it, but you can access to a preview of your components, how they're going to render in the HTML and in the browser. So you can select here, for example, this one looks, it's amazing. Um, Morph is kind of blue here. I mean, you can select the theme that you want. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the way to install this in our app is that we're going to access to this URL. Let me see. Opening a new tab. Okay, so here we have it. Okay, let me show you how to install this. Okay, so I have the steps in the presentation of how to install this, guys. Give me a second. Okay, the presentation is here. Okay, so let me copy this CSS link and let's go to the HTML, to the index file, okay, of the React project. And here, what you need to do is that you need to change I mean the theme that you want. For example, in this case, imagine that you want to use morph. So you just need to change the theme here by morph. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
very easy, super easy. Now I can change the title. This will be agenda. And let's go and deploy something in the app right now, just to see how this is rendering in the browser. Okay, let me create an H1. Let's see how this. Now you see, we are using the CSS from this um, Bootswatch library. Okay, and if, for example, if you want to change to another theme, for example, this one darkly, just change the variable here. Okay, and you have a darkly theme. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks easy to manage, and it's going to help you with the uh, beautifying process of your website. Okay, so let's see. Right now, I will select the morph because I really like this one. So I will select morph here. Now, the app file. Okay, so the app file right now is going to be the one that is going to be serving the component. So I will create in the source folder a component folder. Inside of this folder, I will create the first component, and this will be the component for the person statement. Does this make sense? This is a component,
Yeah.
right? Now, my recommendation if you are working with React is that you can install an extension. Let me show the extension that is called React Snippets. So it's this one. It's going to help you to autocomplete components in React. So for example, if you want to create a component definition for this file, you just need to type in the file ref c, and this is going to create a component in React. And as you see, it's an exportable component. We are using the reservoir export. Okay, so if we go to the app and we can import the person, we will see. Now I have the person component here and I can render it. Let me show that I can render the person component. Let me remove this. Okay, you see the title here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so so we will be working with this kind of components. We call this functional components. Okay. Um, great. Now I will stop the server. No, I won't stop it. What we're going to do here is that we're going to fetch the data from the person's table. So if you want to get data from that person table, you need to call this URL. Get person, this one, let me show it. If you hit send here, this is going to return the data of the people that I have saved in the table, right? So how can I display this information in our project? Let me show it. First, we're going to understand that this operation is an asynchronous operation. So it's going to return a promise. Every time that we're going to fetch data from an outside server, that is a promise, guys. So we're going to create a function. The name of the function will be named as get person data, just like this, okay? And this will be an asynchronous function. So inside of this function, we're going to perform a function that is native from JavaScript that is called fetch. So we're going to save the result of this fetching operation. And we need to set up here what information we need to fetch from the outside. In this case, we need to put the URL of the backend that we need to get. So this is the URL. So if you put it here, this is going to fetch the data, and we need to add the await. Now this information is going to be saved in the result as a promise. But there is another that is called the data, and this is equivalent to the result.json. And this, again, this is a function that is, this is a promise too, so we need to await it. Now we're going to console log the data right now. Now, if you want to get this information once this component is loaded for the first time in the browser, there is a hook that is called use effect. So we are going to import this hook. And we're going to call it. So remember, the use effect hook is going to require the functionality of how it's going to behave and an array of dependencies. So this array right now is going to be empty. What we're going to do is that we're going to call the function get person data. And you will see that in the console of our browser, we're going to console log the information of the table. Let me close this and reload it. And this is something has failed. Now, let me see what's going on here. Okay, let me show this and let me increase the zoom here. Okay, now my operation, this fetch operation is not working, guys. This operation is not working. And I leave this in, I did this on purpose because I want to explain you something that is called the course. Let me go to the presentation. There is a concept new. that is called CORS. CORS, the definition of this is cross-origin resource sharing. I mean, when you are deploying a backend, the CORS is disabled, so no one can access um, to the information using HTML and the browser. You can access to the information if you are using this kind of clients like Thunder Client or Postman, but you won't be able to read this backend if you are reading this backend in JavaScript if you have the CORS enabled. So we need to do something. In our backend, we're going to enable the CORS. So let me go to the backend definition project. I think I have it here. And I put it. And in the backend, what you need to do is that first, we're going to install a new dependency, npm install CORS. This is a new library that is going to help us to enable this communication to the world. So we're going to import the library. Import CORS from CORS. And then we're going to set up that the app is going to use CORS. This is going to enable the communication to the world. Now we need to commit this into GitHub. Okay, let me commit it. CORS enable. So as you see, I enabled the communication to the outside world and I installed a new dependency, this one, right? So this dependency is now added to the node modules. You will see it. It's here. It's this new folder. So how can I bring these changes to the EC2 instance? Let me show it. So we can access again to the terminal here. Let's connect to the terminal. And we need to navigate to the project folder. Sorry, projects. Then we need to navigate to the agenda folder. And inside of the folder, I need to run the command git pull so I can bring the changes. Now we need to stop the server with the PM2 server, PM2 stop agenda. Remember, this is the name of the process. Now I will start again the agenda. Okay, so we need to restart the agenda process. Okay, that's the idea. We download the repository, all the modifications, then we need to restart the project. Okay, now let's try to get this information in our front end. I think the front end is here. Let me try to do it again. Connection refused. I mean, oh God, give me a second. What's this error? This is a different one because the course has been enabled right now. But it says that we have an error here. Let me see if I can get the data using Thunder Client. The server is down. Let me see. Give me a second. Stop. Let me try to node index. Okay, there is a problem here. It says that, oh, sorry guys, I didn't install the dependencies. So I bring the changes, but I didn't install the dependencies. So npm install. This will install CORS in our project. And then we're going to restart agenda. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so it's online again. Let's see in the browser. Okay, now you see the information that I have in my database. You see it here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we enable core so we can get the information from our React project from now on. Now, the idea is that we can render this in a table. So let me show you how to render this in a table. Let's go to the front end, and we need to do something here. There is another hook that is called use effect. So this hook, guys, is going to help you to bind information that you have in the JavaScript into the HTML. So we need to create a variable that is going to contain the content of this data. We are going to call this persons or people now. And we need to create a function that is going to help us to update the people. And we call this set people. This is going to be a use effect. I mean, this is a use state hook. And we need to initialize this as an array because in the background, it will be an array. So once we have the data here, we're going to save it in this variable. So the way to do it is that you're going to set the people, and the parameter that you're going to be sending here will be the data. This is going to save the content of this variable inside of the people hook, okay? Now let's do something here. Let's create a table. So let me create a fragment here. And let me create a title first. Okay, so I need to remember, guys, the columns that I'm reporting here. Let me see. We have the person ID, the name, and the birth date, and the gender. So we have 4 columns here. So we need to create a table, guys. Inside of the table, we need to have a table header. And for every, we need to have a table. I mean, this is like the row or the header of I mean, it's like the name of the column, this part, this th, okay? So we need to put here like um, ID person, name, birth date, and gender. And let's see how this is looking like right now. Use effect is already declared. Give me a second. I think I have a problem here.
It's in your import statement. You have use effect twice.
Yes, it's use state. Thank you, thank you. So let's see. Let me put this in another order. Okay, so let's see. Let's refresh it. Use state has already been declared. Oh, here. Hmm. Okay, so this is like in a small table. Okay. Okay, so if you wanna understand how to I mean how to render a table using this uh, CSS, what we can do is that we can add um, a class name. The class name could be like this one, I think. Let me see. Yeah, we need to add a class name. Okay, so it's a table, and let's see, for example, I think we can add a subclass here too. Let's see. Primary. No, it's okay. I will try to modify this later. Okay, so we have this right now. Okay, so now the content of the table is the importance here. So we need to have another part of the table that is the T body. Inside of the T body, we're going to uh, render the array, so we need to iterate the array. And we're going to use this map method that we use on arrays, okay? So the name of the array is people dot map. Okay, so these guys needs to perform a function, and the content of the function is here. So we are we are creating tr elements here. So inside of this, we are iterating an item, and we are creating fragments here. Okay, let's see. HTML elements. So we have this is the tr element. Okay, so inside of the tr, we need to add a key, and this will be equivalent to the item dot ID. I mean ID person, okay? This one, person ID. See, it's person ID here too. Now we are going to add content to the elements here. And the first TD element will be the person ID 2. Then the name. The birth date. And the last column will be the gender. Let's see, something's not working as it is supposed to do. I think we need to return here. You mean? Hey, give me a second. Something is wrong in my. Let me format this. Oh yeah. I need to. This needs to be inside of curly brackets. Yeah. Okay, let me format the document. Okay, yeah. So let's try to see how this is rendering. I I have the content of the table in my HTML. You see it?
Yeah.
So this is how a project works. We need to read the backend, and then we need to uh, do some stops in our front end so we can display information to the users. And I'm going to show you how to create a form so we can add information to this table, but that is going to be tomorrow. Remember, today we need to continue working in the assignments of the week. So the lesson is going to be a small lesson, but it's a very practical lesson. My recommendation is that you can watch this lesson for the next week, because the next week we're going to work with the front ends. Does this make sense, guys? Or do you have some questions?
It makes sense.
Makes sense. So as a conclusion, conclusion for this class is that that backend, it's important so we can render data, or we can create data in our database. That's going to give us the power of having control of the information in our projects. Now, to enable that communication to your front end, you need to enable the CORS. That's very important. You need to add CORS to the backend, and if you want to deploy a backend that is going to be online always, we need to use this software that is called PM2. That's a Node.js package that is going to help you to create the index file that you want to deploy as a daemon. Remember, this word is awful, but I understand that. This is how we uh, name this process. We demonize the process, okay? So we're creating like a zombie of the Node.js file. So guys, this is I am finishing right now the lesson. Now the idea is that you can continue working in your assignments, and let me know if there are some questions that I can be helping you with the assignments, okay? Okay, so Raylon has a message here. She says that she doesn't know Vite in the cohort that. Oh, I know that you were using Webpack, right, with Rolazar.
Right.
Right. Don't worry. The next week we will continue working with Bit. You will see. I mean, it's easier to work with Bit than with Webpack. As you see, it's very easy. You just
Yeah.
need to put some syntax to create the project. It's so easy. But then I mean, the syntax with React is the same one. Just the part of deploying the project is the difference. It's easier using Bit. And the next week we will continue practicing with Bit. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, great. I am worried because the only EC2 instance is the one that I have created. You have another instance in another region? Let's see, Ohio.
No, no, I didn't do the are you talking about the the EC2 lessons? Are you talking about the deploying the environment?
Okay, let me see. I will present Moodle just to understand um, what's the assignment that you are right now working. Give me a second. Okay. So you are doing this one?
Wait, let me see what you're looking at.
You're doing the videos.
Yes, I'm doing the fundamentals and then
The RDS fundamentals.
yeah, because I figured it'll
Okay,
it'll do
okay.
better to go in order
Yeah, for
and
sure. Yeah, for
skip.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Once you finish those videos, you're going to start deploying the EC2 instance, right?
Right.
Correct. That's great. Great, great. And okay, that's amazing. Thank you. Let me see. Yeah, the idea is that I can watch that instance here in this dashboard, but the only instance is the one that I created.
Um, I had the screenshots and everything, and I just logged in, and it's showing a server. But like I said, maybe
Let's see. Maybe you created the instance in a different region. Give me a second.
which one is it supposed to be in?
Uh,
I believe I'm
North
on the.
Virginia. This one,
That's
US East -1.
yeah, that's the one that I believe I'm on.
Hmm. Can you present, please? But
Yeah.
it's you are using my account or your account.
I believe it's the one I have with you. Let me just sure. Okay.
No, you are using your own account.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean, if you want to work in your account, it's not a problem, but you need to know that maybe this could cost some money.
No, yeah, I don't want to do it. I'm
Yeah, so
gonna try
you
to
might
do
need.
it under the one it's supposed to be under. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. That's what I was making sure because I'm like, I know I went through all of this.
Yeah. Okay. So the way to terminate this instance is that you need to go to actions. So
Uh,
that way you will avoid the charging. And let's go to instance setting. Let's see, change termination protection. Give me a second because
mhm.
I'm not actions. Instance state. Okay, no, it's the other button that says instance state. This one.
It says which one?
Instance state. No,
Oh,
the
okay.
other. Yeah. Now
Terminate.
terminate. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Yeah. Okay. So if you present,
Okay.
maybe, yeah.
This was the username, right?
Yes. Let me see. Let me see. Let me check the I am. Okay. It's Joshua. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Now you need to put the MFA code that yeah, in Google Authenticator. Well, you need to set it up again. Okay, you need to put 2
Okay.
MFA codes. Okay, we need to do this again.
Okay.
And one last time the MFA. I think gonna be the last one.
Uh,
Why do you have
Hmm.
that?
I'm using the same password that I was.
Yeah. I mean, your multi-factor authentication MFA might be out of sync with our server. Enter 2 consecutive. Hmm. I will create a new user for you. Okay. Let
Already.
me see. Um. I mean, the instance that you create is not going to be deleted. Don't worry about it. It's just the access. Um, okay, this is the new username. Um, I will drop it in the chat and the new password. Try to enter with this new account. Okay, I will set up right now the MFA.
Already.
Please log out right now. And let's see, security credentials, MFA device. The authenticator app. So I will present so you can scan the QR code.
Yep.
Okay, and then when you scan the code, you need to share me 2 MFA codes.
Okay. 121 364.
Okay.
435 492.
Okay, now log out and try to log in.
All right, thank you.
Okay, great. Can you present?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the security part. So you have enabled the port 22. Okay, that's fine. So let's return. And can you click where it says connect? Now connect. Access denied by EC2 instance connect. Either your AWS credentials or not. Right. Oh. Oh. So I need to give you access. Give me a second. Think. Give me a second. I think it's a problem in the configuration of the user.
Alrighty.
Can you try again and connect? Access denied by EC2 instance connect. Either your AWS credentials. Can you log out and log in?
Alright. Hmm.
Okay, it says sometimes that we need to do a waiting time of 1 minute once we apply a change in the policy. Maybe that could be the problem, between 2 or 3 minutes. So we are going to try this connection in tuned, I mean in a reasonable time of 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, if you want, you can stop presenting and we're going to retry to connect later in 5 minutes.
Alrighty.